public doesn't know of many kings, though most kings did not make much change. But there was a king who changed everything. That he is obscure is so strange. He was king when Egypt was divided, so he reunited the land. Edom's dominance was now decided, and they continued to expand. So how come the great king became obscure? Why was his great name forgotten? Because later men forgot his lure. To forget great men is rotten. My second poem, Colossus of the Sand, is found on the same page. Great statue, the Colossus of the Sand. Great statue, sing for us a song. Sing for us as long as you can still stand. Sing for us till you can't go on. Build yourself 2 statues with all your wealth, though soon they will forget your name. You have time to build much more with your health, but the statues will be your fame. Great statue, the Colossus of the Sand, even though they got your name wrong. Though you now stand in a desolate land, be sure to always sing your song.
Wow, that was a great read. I'd like to welcome Cameron to the podium, please.
My poem is on page 16, and it's called Without You. I'm nothing without your laugh or the way you have my back. I'm nothing without your hair and how we made the perfect pair. I'm nothing without your smile and how it only lasts for a while. I'm nothing without your jokes, the laughter making us choke. And I'm nothing without your eyes looking deeply into mine. That's what I thought, but then you left me. So I tell myself I'm everything without you in my life. I tell myself lies, secretly wishing you would come back into my life.
Thank you, Cameron. And Max has 3 poems to share with us today.
Hi, I'm Max. My first poem is called Bill Pete's Houses. It can be found on page 31. This poem is about my great-great-uncle, who is an animator at Disney and also wrote children's books. My great-great-uncle drew houses for children. They were not happy homes. His own home was not happy often. Oft absent father and oft absent care. Parents of the time devoted that to more important things. We can step back. I'll take you past the wump world, Cappy Boppy and hair-raising Hubert. Show you instead a rat, dead in a rusty trap, still life in truest form. 2 old boots, weary and unstrung, dark lantern, lame and wobbly, drunk. He painted midnight trains, pale echoes of light in windows, the junkyard, carcasses of great iron horses, and jalopies without a family. He remembered the men who fell from the sky in 29, the flames that erupted from the east in 41. He remembered quarreling with Disney, who bit the dust 2 years later. What he remembered was America. Those houses he drew, shacks, really. They were like the sorrowful old men he so often saw, the dilapidated crouch they make, the long since faded perfect shade of blue siding or bright red brick. Like a well-worn suit, depressed with age, they squat, faces like a wall socket on downers when the shades are drawn. They mope, for buried childhood, for the gloom of life, the surreal reality of America, and the joy that comes from squeezing the bizarre out of what is good and proper. Bill Pete's Houses, they sigh. My next poem is called Elegy for Dolores. It can be found on page 33. I wrote this poem about my great aunt who passed away 2 years ago. Mother, already I am drained, and now they empty you. I am being poured out like a libation, yet imbibe the sorrow. God promised he would not send another flood, yet I flood with lamentation. Sister, how I pray for you, former residents of the same womb. Now your womb is earth, and mine grief. I vowed I would protect you, youngest, defend you with my life, and yet death is impenetrable with mortal hands. Nana, the promises we made adorn the valves of my heart. I, your first grandchild, yours, the first love, completely without condition. Bouncing on your knee was the greatest ride. I still recall the heights I reached, your words in storybooks, songs captured in music boxes, all of you in that ground house. You are nearest God, as I am nearest you. Oh, darling, how do I bring this to an end when I have held a love so strong? Till death do us part, my promise to never let go, not even when you began to fade into the endless river. But you are the second half of me, my other half, my better. How am I to carry on when I am missing a piece? My great aunt lies in the casket with fake wrinkled vinyl skin. She sleeps, yet her chest does not rise and fall. I feel the floor may disappear at any moment. When the mass ends, they drape a sheet across it. The priest comes down from the altar, holds out a prayer book with both hands. Write down her name, he says to her husband. I know she wrote yours down here many times. I watch my cousin collapse into tears, my father holding in his breath, my grandfather silently screaming. I realize so many souls are tied, and despite my distance from her life, the strings that bond our hearts have begun to pull. And what have I to offer but these words, suggestions, guesses, interpretations, an elegy for a life I scarcely knew. So I must craft something new. The thoughts that count, they will mean something too. And my final poem is called The Clairvoyant. It can be found on page 37. I see the current flow around me like a snake sees heat. I flick my tongue through the air and taste the path ahead. Dreams spill out from me endlessly, thick like blood amidst the ether. I am marred by the accusation of cliché, ordered to fall back like a soldier retreating. But how can I run from a battle twixt life and death? I will charge headlong into the line of fire for my love. Foolish, selfish, childish, delusional, there are no guarantees. The eternal refrain of those who lack the vision, who have spooned out their eyes, cut off their ears, and torched their tongues, left their organs on ice and frozen their dreams. I do not freeze, but melt. I am liquid coursing through the atmosphere. I see all before and after penetrate mind and spirit. You claim God constructed us, yet do not believe in our capability? I am wide awake, built of stardust. I am one with the fabric of time and space and all. The future opens itself. Oh, is that it? Yeah, thank you.
Gives me goosebumps in this 1,000-degree room. Next, we have Danique.
My first poem is on page 18, and it's called Alone. November 1st, 2021, a Monday, my first class was social studies. My first middle school class, a day of a new beginning. Why didn't I start in September? I didn't live in New York in September. Where was I in September? I don't even remember. Dissociative amnesia. When there are gaps in the memory, when the brain blocks out traumatic or even important memories, and I don't know why. On my first day, November 1st, 2021, I cried as soon as the school day ended. I don't remember why I did that either. I do remember somebody asking me if I was okay, and then I cried, and I cried, and I cried. What I remember most about November is that I was alone. I walked alone, I sat alone, I was alone in a sea of people. Until I wasn't alone. I made friends, I walked with people, I sat with people, and in a sea of people, I had found my people. and at one time my life was heavenly celestial even. My life made sense. The stars aligned. 3 years later, I've lost some and I've got some, but the people I have now don't bring me back to November 1st, 2021, when I walked out of the classroom crying because I'm no longer alone. My second poem is on page 20, and it's called D-E''NIQUE. When I was a kid, I went on a field trip, and the tour guide asked me my name. My voice was small, since I was only 6, and the man had to come closer to hear me. He said everything but my name. One of the most embarrassing and frustrating days ever. It's the only thing I remember about that field trip. Why couldn't anyone get it? I can't search up my name because who has a meaning for D-E''NIQUE? People still say my name wrong. They spell it wrong too, even my own family members and friends. Sometimes I even forget how to say my own name, but I never correct them because there's no point. I wish I had a meaning. I wish I had a normal name so that I wouldn't be scared to meet new people and do attendance at the start of a school year. I wish I wasn't scared of my name and the weird looks I get. Can you repeat that? What did you say? I wish my voice didn't drop a couple of decibels every time I said my name. I wish I wasn't afraid to be me. Hello, my name is Danique. Will that do?
Thank you, Danique. Next, we have Yvonne.
My poem is Icarus, and it's on page 44. I inhaled life, I exhaled death, I navigated through the trenches, I embraced stress. My life is a reflection of stories that are beyond kept. Forget this world and all the nonsense. Let's breathe in some consciousness. Who's the monotone voice that preaches to the demons? Who are the one teaching lessons, yet allow heathens? I call a spade, and conjure up reasons. There's a darkness inside that pushes out the light. I'm resurrected by the gray lines and write out nights. Every little consonant and abject word will lead to abstract that are beyond curbs. Let's say it again with emphasis. There are beyond words. I stand alone on my presence and move beyond third. I'm at home plate already, so let the lights in. I'm the Icarus of this story, and these are my orange bright wings. It's the flame that burns me and the plight of my journey, which allows the consumption of my story to burn with a light wind.
Thank you, that was great. Can I please have Maya to the podium?
My poem is on page 46. Sorry. I carry a silence inside my chest. People's opinions linger. I never let myself truly rest. So I sit silently. The emotions fighting me violently. I wear a smile like a mask of grace, but behind my eyes, there's a different place. I hold back, afraid to show the depths of what I feel and know. People describe me as a funny and happy person, but the person they're describing... But the person they're describing is not my true self. The quiet speaks louder than I ever knew. I tell myself to see these emotions through.
was some performance, Maya. Thank you. Can I please have Olivia to the podium?
Hi, my poem is called Her Name, and it can be found on page 46. Her name. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I tapped something, sorry. It haunts my ears. God damn it. Sorry. It haunts my mind, it rings in my ears, never a moment of quiet until she is here. Her voice sings a sweet melody upon her arrival, her name, a sweet reminder. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. That was lovely. Thaddeus has 3 poems to share with us today.
Hi, I'm Thaddeus. My first poem is on page 10. It's called Tears of Heaven. When I rain, I pour an umbrella to me. I want to feel more. Él es flojo y sensible, pero también es un bore. I like it when his droplets singe me. I do not mind his lore. Okay. My next one I actually wrote while I was right after I got off the track from running. And I was combining two different experiences while running because I feel like you can figure out the 2 things that were happening. I'll just read it. Page 11. The feel of the track is such that I do not mind the blunts. My memory is jogged. I recall my right. The intrinsic freedom I may take. Sorry. The intrinsic freedom I may take up space. Every other implicitly seeks the high which rolls and rolls, the intimation of tandem, joint, the blossoms which I tend inside, blooming, rooting, subduing the weed. Even as I pursue the bus home, it eludes me. My lithe legs lack the latitude to lament having run. Okay, my last one is on page 54, I believe. Yeah. Okay, this one's called Prototype. I want to dance like Uma Thurman. Set the precedent. You're my ermine. Tug at my shores as I bear your sky. Imagine stillness as you fly. You have no face, but in my mind's eye, I sink into your craters. Your soul, my veil. Thank you.
Those are all wonderful, Thaddeus. Thank you. Next, we have Rena.
My poem's on page 45 and it's called Why Must We Flee? Another summer day, July 20th, 1974, the day everything stopped, the day we couldn't take a stance. Our rights were trapped, tanks rolling down the street, the very same street where the neighbor kids would play ball. Why must we flee? Why must we flee my home? The place where I had celebrated all my birthdays. Why must I watch it be destroyed? The shots of the rifles pounded in my ears. We are our own country, why can't we take control? We're our own people, why can't we take a stance? The sun dimmed in sadness. It was time to leave. Why couldn't we stay? Where was our white and orange flag? It should have been waving free. The neighbors ran with clothes and sacks on their backs. The mothers and fathers cradling their babies. The elderly couples holding on to each other. I watched the green helmets swarm our village like bees swarm their hive.
That was so powerful, Rena. Thank you. Next, we have Michaela.
My poem is titled Gaze, found on page 48. They shine like stars in the night. They're the loveliest of sights. Each hue speaks a whisper, a secret in the light. They are soft but bright, fierce and polite. They hold stories untold, a fable with a hidden might. To get lost in your gaze is a maze of delight.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michaela. Next, we have Matthew.
Hello. My poem is on page 41. In this house of splintered creeds, where love is law, yet no one heeds, they take care of rules in brittle bone, then curse the cracks they should have known. The shadow lingers by the door, a faceless thing, yet nothing more. It whispers, honor, child, obey, then lives in sin and walks away. Hold your tongue, don't talk back, but their voices cut like glass in black. Be the light, don't let us down, yet their hands have shaped my frown. They call me broken, call me wrong, but I'm just their twisted song. Sings and whispers, raised in screams, fed on love that rots in seams. And when I break the way they do, they gasp as if the cracks are new.
Thank you, Matthew. Next, we have Sebastian. Can Sebastian
My poem's on page 42. A shadow falls where feelings fade, a quiet emptiness moving slow. No happiness to feel, no suffering to endure, just silent echoes soft and deep. The world moves on but I remain ever so still, a blank page with no pencil. Apathy's touch is cold and solve a story without words.
That was great, Sebastian. Thank you. Next, we have Leia.
There's so many of you. Okay. My poem is on page 47. 'Tis thee I still adore. The pigment held dearest to my heart is the one within thy gaze. 'Twas all I searched for in a crowd of foreign eyes. Indescribable is my favorite color, for heaven is not to be portrayed by the mere song of our mortal tongues. I recall our oath for the cessation of our companionship to merely be upon my own demise. How insatiable was your starving beauty, for it greedily took and consumed the breath from my lungs. Blessed is the soul of mine to have experienced thy love. 'Tis foolish for romance to compete. Within this book I incessantly write with aching fingers. You remain my favorite chapter despite its wilted pages. I search for the ethereal features of your grace, engraved in my reminiscence in the people that I meet, while your portrait remains in the museum of my yearning mind despite our escalating ages. Companions reside within one's heart and take their departure. 'Tis the truth that stings akin to a wound. Yet I would rather be a pauper once affluent than one who has yet to touch upon an ounce of gold. Alas, even if our paths shall never intersect once more, our companionship never to be resumed, the irises of thine remain my favorite hue. How exquisite the sight of your smile was to behold. Among society lingers a phrase that one is unable to trip over a stone behind one stands, and yet I invariably revisit my past where thou art by a reminiscence that I cherish. I would rearrange the stars and shift the prodigious mountains to steal from you a last glance. Your name remains inscribed into my memories, even if with the melancholic longing shall I perish. How perplexing is the conduct of time, for it intertwined our fingers and young hearts. Our lives of fragile youth were akin to the tranquil breeze. I remember it as if it were the mere day before. No voices were raised to drive daggers into our chests, no predicaments tore our hands apart. It was the mere voice of passing years that brought us silent farewell. Yes, 'tis thee I still adore.
Such beautiful, beautiful language, Leia. Next, can I have Lucila, please?
My poem's on page 50. He promised me the world, a spark, a love that would kindle in the dark. But in the end, he turned away, a lost promise with a price to pay. Now every glance feels like a chain. His eyes on me, they carve the pain. He stares but never says a word, a silence that I've never heard. I can't erase him from my mind. His shadow stays, a blurred, undefined, a ghost of what could have never be, a love that was but couldn't see. I tell myself it's not worth it now, this broken hope, this broken vow. But still, I feel his gaze on me, a puzzle piece that's lost to me. I wish I could just walk away, let go of memories and pain. But in my heart, his stare remains, a love that's trapped in his endless chains. It's not worth it, I know it's true, but still his eyes are haunting through. Maybe someday I'll find release, but for now, he still looks at me.
That was beautiful, Lucila. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have our President, Victoria.
Hi. My poem can be found on page 54. Forged. Sometimes I'm in the mood to burn it all down, to watch everything I've worked so hard for collapse like a house of cards. I know I'll have to build it back up, but I can't tell if the fire is inevitable or the result of my stubborn making. So I pick and I pick and I pick until there's nothing left but my mind staring back at itself. It's cathartic to peel my skin and grow a new layer, to constantly critique myself until there's nothing left. And I don't know if I can build it back the way it was, or if it's lost forever. I know when it's over because I'm left standing alone with shells at my feet. My next poem, and the last poem of today, is called Mine, and it can be found on page 55. Once again, I find myself climbing up my hill. But this hill is for you. My sweat is an extra layer of skin. My feet are aching. The lactic acid in my legs is accumulating. But I'm walking toward you. My spirit is crashing in on itself. My face is melting. But you say it's okay, because I'm yours and you are mine, and we're almost there. Home. But it's not where I think, because you want me to be someone I'm not. Someone you've slowly convinced me I am. I don't want to be her. A facade of happiness when I'm with you, guilt eating my heart when I'm alone. On the edge of the precipice of my convictions, presenting you with a carefully curated version of myself, all to please you. I can't leave the comfort of your presence, but you make me uncomfortable with who I've become. So I disconnect, separate my emotions. In my head, you're the bad guy. And that's how I make my exit bearable. I am mine, and you are mine. It can't work that way. So we go our separate paths. No happy ending here.
All right, and those are all our poets for today. I just want to thank you all so much for coming once again. I am so happy and proud of this turnout. It's a really beautiful thing to see this side of you as a teacher, but then for you to feel confident and comfortable enough to give your poems an actual voice is a really, really beautiful and touching thing. So thank you for putting yourselves out there. Thank you for coming to support. Thank you for our very supportive administration. We appreciate you being here immensely. And good luck to our seniors. And if you are not a senior, enjoy the rest of the year, and I hope to see you here again next year. Thank you guys so much again.
be nice, yeah?